Good morning. Welcome to the International Buddhist Meditation Sunday service. Today we have a Dhamma talk. Reverend Kasanti going to give a Dhamma talk. Before Dhamma talk, we have a little bit metta meditation practice. So today going to lead Venerable Chandasara metta meditation.
Thank you so much. Appreciate. Good morning to everyone. Now let's do loving kindness meditation. For that, to get ready, be seated in an upright, comfortable posture. Gently breathe in and breathe out for a minute to relax mind and body. Relax mind and body. Forget everything that you have learned up to now. Empty everything now. And breathe in and breathe out gently. Now let us spread loving kindness thoughts to all the living beings in this way. May all the living beings be physically well. May all the living beings be free from incoming disturbances. May all the living beings be mentally well. Let's continue thinking thus until we hear the bell sound.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Venerable Chandrasara, for leading the metta meditation. So now this is the time for the Dhamma talk. Reverend Kasanti going to give a Dhamma talk. Yeah, this is the time for you right now.
Thank you. If you can't hear me at any point, shout out. The last one, my computer was kind of iffy. And this morning I'm using Shraddha's computer, which is newer and I hope better. So feel free to tell me that you can't hear me. A couple of weeks ago when Reverend Shanti asked who would speak, Shraddha or me, I volunteered quite quickly because I had an idea about what I wanted to speak about. And then as I began my research, I found some things that fit. I almost settled on the Sigalovada Sutra, which is the discipline for the householders. But as I read it, I realized that it kind of pointed back to the 5 precepts, and the 5 precepts pointed back to right action. It's a great sutra. Subodha published on Facebook the section on intoxicants, but it's a good thing to read through because it enumerates all the facets of adherence or not to the various elements of the precepts. But as I said, everything pointed back to the 4 Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. So I decided I should probably focus on that this morning. The Buddha spent 45 years teaching it through many, many sutras to many, many levels of society, the rich, the poor. But he wasn't revising it. He wasn't improving it. He didn't come up with an Eightfold Path 2.0. He kept at it, but it's our egos that keep getting in the way. We keep looking for an exception. Our circumstances maybe can modify what we're asked to do in the path. I remember Thich Nhat Hanh gave a Dharma talk at the Pasadena Civic Auditorium years ago. And he began talking and he became more and more upset. And the little monk, who I don't know why he was ringing the bell, but he began ringing it more and more. And finally, Thich Nhat Hanh said, "You just don't get it." It was about the sacredness and the interdependence of all life. I think chickens in particular. We were still eating chickens. But the Buddha never did that. He just kept at it. And what he was framing it as is what he discovered the middle way, so that you didn't go into the punishment of extreme aesthetic life, or the other of hedonistic indulgence, because that's what you can do. Buddhism has 550 million followers throughout the world, all levels, all stratas of society, and they're all seeking liberation from suffering. And the path doesn't ask a lot of us. Yes, it requires great faith, great doubt. Just don't accept what's being said, and great effort, because you got to spend some time with it. It's not like when I was a Catholic, you went to catechism school and you were told the things and you had to recite it as it was written in the catechism book, and that was your faith. That's what you did. You didn't think about it. You weren't supposed to read the Bible because that might lay you astray. So that's not Buddhism. We have the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. The first turning of the Dharma wheel, the Four Noble Truths. There is suffering. It's not just your suffering. Everyone suffers. We're in this together. We're going through life together, not in solitude. There's a story of the woman grieving for her dead child. She goes to the Buddha and says, "How can I find relief from this?" And he says, "Go out into the community and get a mustard seed, but from a house that has not had grief." And she does, and she can't find one. And she comes back to the Buddha, realizing that that is life. And she became a follower. The good thing is that there's a cause for this suffering, and that the cause is our attachments, our holding on, our love of youth and love and sex and money, and it's the three poisons at work. We have greed, anger, and delusion. Greed, we want more. We want what we feel is ours, and we want it. Anger, when we don't get our way. And ignorance or delusion, because we don't see the full scope of things. And Reverend Kusala spoke about the Five Remembrances, and he published on Facebook the Five Remembrances. And Kusala publishes a lot of great things on his Facebook. In amongst the postings about cats, there's great insight, and it's a daily practice. He's the first post I get in the morning, and usually it's something to think about all day. So I give that to you. But the Five Remembrances, it's like a splash of cold water, or the slap that Cher gives Nicolas Cage in Moonstruck. Snap out of it. The Five Remembrances. You're going to get old. You're going to get sick. You're going to die. Everything you hold dear, you're going to lose. But your karma is yours. You earned it, you made it. It's never going to be forgiven or forgotten. It's where you are born into and what you die out of. It's your karma. And he gives us the Eightfold Path to deal with that. So, but remember, this is a journey, but it's not alone. We're not in solitude. We have other people around us that we interplay with, interdependent. And we have the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We have you all to be with us on this path. So the Eightfold Path covers the three facets of Buddhist practice and discipline: sila, morality; samadhi, mental discipline; and prajna, which is wisdom. So first, let's do the wisdom. Starts with there is right view or right understanding, which basically is accepting the Four Noble Truths as the correct view. It's to see into the true nature of things, the way things are. In the daily prayer, it's to understand mind, see into its true nature, develop wisdom, and gain spiritual power in order to rescue all my honored mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, friends, and relatives, so that all living beings attain Buddhahood. Then there's the right intention or the right thought. This is the karmic engine of everything. It's a selfless detachment. It's the cultivation of wisdom and compassion. What we think, we become. So our thoughts and our intentions are extremely important in this path. And if you want to grab onto something to form those thoughts, it's the Brahmaviharas, to practice loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. That's selfless. We just did the loving kindness. It's for all beings. Compassion toward those who may be suffering more than we are. Sympathetic joy, take joy in the success of others around you. Don't feel you have to begrudge them their success. And equanimity, to accept things the way they are. And then we have ethical conduct. This is us in the world. It's right speech, right action, right livelihood. We're in the community. And right speech, is pretty simple. You don't think of it as a good conversation like we had at Thanksgiving, around a table of people who just liked being with them. There was no snarky remarks, no put downs. It was just enjoying convivial community. And it was not deceitful, and nobody lied. The Buddha, in his first teaching to his son Rahula, when he reached his majority, I guess it was 18, one of the first things he said is, when someone feels no shame in telling a deliberate lie, there is no evil they will not do. And given what we're going through now, I think that we see is so true. And then right action, the 5 precepts. We don't kill, we don't steal, we don't misuse sex, we don't lie, we don't take intoxicants. And you can spend a lifetime looking in that. For a gang member, maybe not to kill is just what it says. Do not kill. And for a monk, it may be making sure that ant doesn't get crushed. Reverend Karuna tried to keep her kitchen really clean so that no creatures came in that she would have to deal with. So there's a whole spectrum. It's what you're capable of, what you need at that time, and it changes over time. So always keep the precepts in mind as you go through the various stages of your life. And then right livelihoods. It used to be, well, don't sell alcohol, don't do arms. We've gotten away from those kind of trades. Most of us are in business. And the best way I can describe it is the Anda Sutta, which is very short. The Buddha said there are 3 types of people in this world. There's the blind man. He just goes through life. He doesn't know how he got his money. He doesn't care. He doesn't do good or bad with it. He just exists. It's like a coupon clipper, trust fund baby. It came, it's there, it's fine. The second is the one-eyed man. He acquires wealth any way he can. He lies, he cheats, he tricks, he causes fraud. He doesn't care about the consequences. He doesn't care about how he got it. It's his. He's, as the Buddha said, purse proud. And he's very clever. And so consequences be damned. He's got his. Let everybody else pull themselves up by the bootstraps. I've got mine. And he dies. And it all goes away. And usually he ends up in hell. And finally, it's the two-eyed man. He acquires his wealth through honorable means, through the best intent. He knows that he avoids the bad results. He tries to make it good. And he gives it away. He takes care of his family. He takes care of his business. He saves for a rainy day, but he also shares with the community. He shows compassion for the poor and tries to help them. He shares it with his neighbors so that they can enjoy his well-being. He takes care of the people who works for them. This is in the Sigalovada Sutra. The Buddha talks about what you do for the people working for you. You don't ask them to do more than they can. You pay them a fair wage. You take care of them when they're ill, and you give them time off. Now, maybe we should do that in today's world. So the next is right effort. And the right effort is to identify evil. Don't let it rise. Expel it from your life. Keep it away from you. But cultivate good. And if you've cultivated, keep it. Deal with the three poisons. See where they're seeping into your life. They're universal. They're not something that we discovered. They're there. Deal with them. Then right mindfulness. And this is these three: effort, mindfulness, and concentration are the mental discipline that strengthens our practice. It's to be aware of how things are, to be aware of your body, to meditate on the movements of the body, the breath. Focus on the little things so you become more aware and sensitive to yourself and to the world around you. And like in the Heart Sutra, far from all fantasy, there is dwelling in nirvana. Be aware of your fantasies. Try to get over them. Just, this is the way it is. Deal with it. And last is right concentration, which is meditation, or some definitions, it's trance, which is our journey in miniature. You sit there, you concentrate on one thing, you strip away your clinging. You strip away the mental gibberish that you have. Then you go into just enjoying joy and happiness and contentment and a few things that keep things going. The next one, you get rid of the joy because that's an action thing. You just enjoy happiness, which has no objectives. It's just there. And the fourth one, even strip that away. It's just equanimity. You see what is coming, what is going, you just accept it. So following this path, knowing that the karma we create, it's best if it's good karma. It's a life well lived with wisdom and compassion for our journey, whether the journey is the lesser journey or the greater journey, or the goal is the magic city or the land of treasures. The goal is to end suffering. And with the end of suffering, we reach nirvana. But you don't focus on the goal. You don't focus on, oh, I'm going to achieve enlightenment. I'm going to achieve environment. It's what you do along the way. When Bodhidharma went from India to China at the request of Emperor Wu, when he met Emperor Wu, the emperor said, I built all these temples, I built these stupas. How much merit have I gained? And Bodhidharma said, no merit. Why? Because he was doing it for some other reason. He was hoping that he would get nirvana because of all that, and it isn't. You have to do things selflessly for the good of the world and the good of you. You build good karma, and maybe you'll find enlightenment. Who knows? Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Reverend Kasanti. So anybody have a question and a comment, please? You can share right now.
Thank you very much. I really enjoy. I was going back to the basics and of the Eightfold Path, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. A lot of times, I go astray of that, and it really is the core of or I would like it to be the core of my practice. And I think I was at that Pasadena with Thich Nhat Hanh. I remember it. That was quite. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Anyway, thank you so much for your Dharma talk.
Thank you for being here. I've been trying to simplify my practice, to come back to just the core things that keep me going. As a Mahayana, I have the Heart Sutra. As a Buddhist, I have loving kindness. I'll incorporate Kusala's the Five Remembrances. Yeah, and I go back to the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Sean?
Yeah. I don't really have a question. I just want to express my gratitude for going back to the basics, as a previous person said, and I was reflecting on how much I really need to step up my practice, not to to achieve nirvana per se, but or to achieve a certain goal, but to be just more okay and less harmful. I still can still react at times to people and to situations that I find disagreeable, you know. And I'm just thinking back to something I did yesterday, and I just need to. I'm powerless over being able to make it any way right, except for just remaining away from the person and giving them space, and then maybe in the future expressing another sort of amends. I had tried to express an amends. There was a conflict that led to a breakup in a relationship, and I put my foot in my mouth and I caused some harm that wasn't intentional by trying to point out things to this person that if they had done differently, then maybe I would not have, responded in certain ways, and taking the focus off myself, and kind of pointing the finger, and some of it was valid, and I didn't get personal with the person, but regardless, I think they felt harmed because I was pointing things out that there was truth of, and they didn't want to see that truth, which I have difficulty too. If someone points out something to me where I was wrong, and I'm connected to the idea of me being right, it feels hurtful, it feels painful, and I don't want to see that. And and I reached out to this person after Thanksgiving. Several weeks had gone by without communication, and I tried to make an amends, and I was met with, condescension and just complete lack of receptivity to it, and again reminding me that I hurt them, and without any, I don't know. I guess I should have watched my expectations. I was expecting them to forgive, and then I need to let go, and I need to surrender. And I just wanted to appreciate you for reminding me how much I need to work on that, and how each morning I need to do a practice, do a routine where I see these teachings in front of me, simplified, to remember to live that way through the day, not just meditate. I feel like meditation helps me in the morning, but remembering what my right intention is throughout the day,
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm sorry I rambled, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you, Reverend Kashanti.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the bring up about the Four Noble Truths and Five Precepts. I remember the last month I'm talking about the late light practice, and I emphasize about the practice Five Precepts. Actually, when I realized that it's very important for the late life practice, is if you pay closely attention to the precept, you really put on the deep practice, you will find happiness from five precepts there. They give me a lot of benefit. Like I said, I feel closer to the people, and the people closer to me. I feel happier. I feel when meditation, because if I keep the precept, close. When I meditation, I feel much more calm, easier to calm my mind than before. I understand, or I practice less 5 precepts. So that's my I'm sharing my experience, and thank you for bring up again about this. And at a late life, at a late person, I try the best I can to work on my 5 precepts. Thank you for the talk. And
thank you for being here. And I mean, Buddhism gives you happiness. I mean, that's sometimes missed. Practicing as you do gives you happiness and contentment. It's not an onerous burden. It's not back-breaking labor. It's just being a good person. And that gives you happiness. And that's really what we hope for in this journey. So thank you.
thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Reverend Kasanti, for your Dhamma talk. So next Sunday, Reverend Kusala going to give a Dhamma talk. Now this is a chanting. We're going to chant page 4 and page 10. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them all. Deluding passions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them all. Dharma gates are limitless. I vow to study them all. Buddha's way is supreme. I vow to attain it. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and the sick find help relief. nguyện di thử không đưa phổ cập nhất thiết ngã đặng dự chung sanh giai cộng than Phật đạo. Nguyện di thử công đưa phổ cập nhất thiết ngã đặng dự chung sanh giai cộng than Phật đạo. Nguyện di thử công đức phổ cập nhất thiết ngã đặng
sự chúng sanh giai cộng thanh Phật đạo.
Thank you very much for everyone to being today Sunday service. Thank you very much.